Yes,
Jesus
it's wrong.
Christ.
And look, this is the kind of stuff that erodes trust among the American people in our various institutions, including our justice system. There's very clearly a two-tier justice system at play here. And so, look, I think that there should be a law preventing presidents from pardoning individuals where they have a conflict of interest, family members, right? There should be protections to prevent that kind of activity from taking place.
Anna Kasparian has once again set the Young Turks fans and the woke left on fire after her take here on this episode of the Young Turks. If you go to this video and you look at the comments, it's a whole lot of angry Young Turks fans, angry Cenk Uygur fans. They're not really liking Anna Kasparian over there anymore for obvious reasons, because she's calling them out constantly. And this is also one of those times. This time, Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur are discussing the Joe Biden pardon of Hunter Biden. And obviously, Anna Kasparian is noticing that there's some nefarious things going on. Let's check this out here from Anna and Cenk.
In 2015, Hunter Biden was hired by this Gabriel Popoviciu, who is a Romanian businessman. He was facing prosecution for corruption in Romania. And in 2015, he hired Hunter Biden, who is a lawyer, while his father was vice president, to help fend off charges. That effort was unsuccessful, to your point, Cenk. And in 2016, this Russian businessman was convicted on charges related to a land deal in northern Bucharest. So there are other specific examples that have been provided by the New York Times in their reporting, having to do with China, as you referenced, Cenk. I don't know what the truth is, right? This is not really something that has been investigated by prosecutors. But again, I do think that the length of time in which Hunter Biden has now been given cover.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Is too long, and I think could potentially be done on purpose to protect Biden, Hunter Biden, if he engaged in any illegal corruption, which does happen time to time, believe it or not. Some corruption is still considered illegal in America.
Yeah, I know, because especially the Corrupt Foreign Service Act prevents you from bribing foreign officials, as an example, or them bribing you, because one of Trump's top donors, Sheldon Adelson, had that charge against him, which magically went away with a tiny little fine in that context. When Trump got into office. So, but I'm sure the Republicans are livid about that. Are they? No. Oh, yeah. I'm getting news from my non-existent earpiece that they are not livid about that. And I'll come back to that in a second. But so prosecutors, I don't know if they did the right thing or not in unearthing everything they could about Hunter Biden. But I do know that James Comer had all the time in the world to investigate him. And here's how many connections that he found between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Zero.
Exactly.
Nothing. Okay. So if you're pretending that he found something.
Hold on. Surely he just misspoke, right? Did this guy just say, here are all the connections that James Comer found between Hunter Biden and Joe Biden? Zero. I think one connection is a pretty big one. Hunter Biden is Joe Biden's son. But I'm sure he's talking about when it comes to corruption and being bought out by Russia or some foreign entity. I just don't believe that at all. What I think happened, I know this is crazy conspiracy, town. And let me know in the comments what you guys think happened with the whole Hunter Biden stuff. I think he did get bought out, and this is just hypothetical, crazy conspiracy. Actually, I heard this from somebody on the street the other day. This isn't actually my theory. What I heard from this guy, this very smart man on the street, I think Hunter Biden was bought out by a foreign entity, let's just say. And then I think there was a bunch of evidence planted to make him look stupid. There was a bunch of those videos with him, smoking crack with the prostitutes, all this stuff. I think it's to make him look stupid. I don't think he was that stupid all along. The guy was a lawyer, right? He passed law school. He passed the bar exam. He's a lawyer. I don't think he was that stupid. I think they planted that stuff to make him look stupid. And I think he actually was an agent, I don't think this. This is something that I heard on the street. I think he was actually an agent from another country. That's what I think. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about this whole Hunter Biden stuff? What do you think was the real story now that he's officially been pardoned? Also, let me know in the comments, would you pardon your son if you were in Joe Biden's position? I think I probably would. I know a lot of you would say, no, I wouldn't. It's better for the country. You got to put the country first. I think in reality, a lot of you would as well. I think if you're a loving father, you probably would pardon your son. And I just think that's the case. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, though.
Well, where is it, brother? Where is it? So he's full of crap. He never found anything. One of our members here, Box on Super Chat, made a good point. So on the gun charge, he said, so I'm pretty pro Second Amendment. I don't like that he pardoned Hunter without fixing the question of the gun form too. That question needs to be changed.
Right. I agree.
This has nothing to do with any substance. If you thought that was bad, you should change that line in the gun form. And I agree. I'm not a gun rights advocate. I'm probably the opposite. But that line makes no sense, and it should be taken out. But nobody fixes anything that affects the average American. They only do things that affect the very, very elite. Now, finally, to that point, I'm allowed to be outraged by Hunter Biden scams. I'm allowed to know, hey, wait a minute, did it connect to Joe Biden or not, et cetera. But that's because I'm consistent and principled, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. But if you're a Republican or a right-winger who's saying Hunter Biden is the worst thing in the world, blah, 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 but then you don't mind that Donald Trump pardoned Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, and Charles Kushner, let alone dozens of other incredibly wealthy people and people connected to Donald Trump that I could tell you about, well, then you're a giant hypocrite. So you got to own up to that. So, for example,
obviously, dear, come on. You can make this argument. Of course, you can make this argument. It's a completely different situation. And I said earlier that I would also pardon my son. But there's no doubt about it that it's a completely different situation for Donald Trump to pardon people who the majority of people felt like if they took their political bias out of the equation, they would have said, yeah, okay, that makes sense that you would pardon that person. Just in, unbiased, bird's eye view, you would say, okay, that makes sense to pardon that person. And then, you can go and find the ties to Donald Trump behind the scenes. But he also pardoned a bunch of people that had zero ties to Donald Trump. He pardoned a bunch of like rappers and celebrities and stuff. He pardoned like one of Kim Kardashian's friends or something like that. And then Kim Kardashian goes and endorses Kamala Harris, But he pardoned a ton of people that had nothing to do with Donald Trump, no ties to him. He was just pardoning people that he felt like should have been pardoned, that most other presidents wouldn't actually take the time out and wouldn't actually take the risk of actually going pardoning those people. Who did Joe Biden pardon? He pardoned, the Merchant of Death? I mean, he didn't pardon him, but he gave him back to Russia, basically pardoned him. Got Brittany Griner back. Wow, what a great trade that was. And the only person that I can think of that he actually pardoned was his son, Hunter. So, I mean, you can make this argument, of course. Of course, this is where Cenk's going to go. Of course, this is where the Young Turks fans are going to go. It just doesn't make sense. It's a bad argument because Trump also pardoned a ton of people who were just high-profile people who were in jail or, people felt like they should have been pardoned that had no ties to Donald Trump. Let's see what Anna Kasparian has to say in response here.
Example, Steve Bannon's crimes had nothing to do with the Trump administration. He was building a fake wall. He just robbed his own viewers, and his co-conspirators went to jail. And Trump's like, yeah, but he's my guy, and I like that he was robbing people. I pardon him. But if you say, okay, well, but Bannon and Stone, maybe they're crooks, but they're his crooks. Charles Kushner is obviously his son-in-law's dad, Jared Kushner's dad. That crime that Charles Kushner committed was both awful, was a white-collar crime looking to rip other people off, and happened before the Trump administration. It had nothing to do with lawfare, and the guy who convicted him was Chris Christie. So why did you pardon Charles Kushner? Because he's part of the Trump family. So I could be mad and you could be mad about Hunter Biden, but Trump and his allies don't get this fake cry about, oh, I can't believe Biden pardoned family members. All right, why'd you pardon Charles Kushner, that giant criminal? Oh, right, because he's now part of your criminal family.
Yeah, and in fact, Donald Trump has named him the ambassador of France, which is wait, Jared Kushner is going to be the ambassador of France?
That's what I thought.
Oh, I thought it was going to be his dad. Maybe I'm mistaken. Is it his father or is it Jared Kushner?
It's his father?
Yeah, it's his father.
Criminal ambassador to France?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
God.
Yes. Jesus it's wrong.
Christ.
And look, this is the kind of stuff that erodes trust among the American people in our various institutions, including our justice system. There's very clearly a two-tier justice system at play here. And so, look, I think that there should be a law preventing presidents from pardoning individuals where they have a conflict of interest, family members, right? There should be protections to prevent that kind of activity from taking place. But if there isn't, we're going to continue seeing more of this, and we're going to continue seeing more trust eroded among the American people toward our institutions and our justice system. It's just-
I agree. If we're going to frown upon people for pardoning people who are close to them, there needs to be a law that bars people from pardoning people who have familial ties or anything like that. If there is a conflict of interest, like Anna Kasparian said, I think, number one, Joe Biden probably kind of broke the dam with pardoning his son, Hunter Biden, who is an actual like criminal, according to the information that we have about him. He's an actual criminal. You know, whether or not he was bought out by foreign entities is kind of up in the air, but still, I mean, even it being up in the air is kind of weird to pardon him. And then, you know, he is a drug addict, all this stuff that we know about him. That broke the dam. Number two, though, I don't know how many more presidents we're going to have that have drug addict, criminal, possible foreign agent sons. It's probably not going to happen too often. And we're probably not also going to see many more presidents that are actually senile, that actually don't have, you know, a very high functioning brain at all. The only reason why Joe Biden was elected is because TDS was so strong. Is honestly, being completely honest, because of shows like The Young Turks with Anna Kasparian, Cenk, Uygur, all those other people like The View, people like Sam Cedar, all of those guys out there who were contributing to the TDS and who still are, other than Anna and Cenk's also coming around a little bit as well. But those people are contributing to TDS and were, especially back in 2020 after Donald Trump was in the White House. They were freaking the hell out, and they were just going to vote for whoever was on the other side. You could have put a dog up for the nomination for president on the Democrat side, and they would have voted for him. That's just the reality of it. I don't know how many more times we're going to see an actual criminal son or daughter or something like that of the elected president. But I think if we do, this has broken the dam to where they're most likely 90% of the time going to be pardoned by the sitting president, because this guy pardoned not just a normal criminal, but possible a foreign agent, and nothing's really happening. Like, there's not much outrage about it. It's kind of like people have forgotten that Joe Biden's even in the White House. Once again, I'll state, I would have done the same thing if it was my son. No doubt about it. I would have done the same thing as a father. But as the president, and looking at it objectively with no emotional ties to the situation, objectively, it's a bad decision. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Anna Kasparian calling out Joe Biden for pardoning Hunter Biden. Of course, they also had to call out Donald Trump as well. That TDS is still in there a little bit for Anna, and it's definitely in there for Cenk, Uygur. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Anna Kasparian versus Joe Biden situation.